3. So, oh heck, I'm going to run out of room. I am going to just put this on the next page because otherwise it's going to get really complicated. Oops. Have a look. So, I'm going to have rewrite it. I want to undo that divide by 3, so I'm going to get 6x minus 4 equals 3 times 2x plus 8. Then I'm going to expand the bracket. Oh, that's clever of me. I'm going to change this equation. That's what you get when you make it up as you go along. Start again. So I'm going to say equals x plus 8. Okay? Okay, 3 times x plus 8 equals 3x plus 24. Okay, so I want all the x's on one side, all the numbers on the other. So 6x minus 3x equals 24 plus 4. So 6x minus 3x is 3x equals 28. And x equals 28 divided by 3. So x equals 9 and 1/3. And that's what you get when you make up a question. So that is entirely my fault. Okay, hope that makes sense. I just changed it because I made it up and managed to make one that wouldn't work. So let's have a look at the next thing. So I think probably that's okay for the factorising. You just have to think about also making up equations, so and rearranging formulas. So what about if, let's do rearranging formula. So what about if I had, let's change the colour. If I had this and I had p squared equals 5r squared w over y z. Okay, got low battery. And I want to rearrange it for w. Okay, I want what w is. Yeah, so I'm just going to multiply through by the yz, so I get rid of that. So I get p squared yz equals 5r squared w. I want w on its own, so I want to get rid of the 5r squared. So I've got p squared yz over 5r squared equals w. Okay. Right. So next thing is probably to look at sequences. Okay. So what about if I had this sequence and I have 4, I've got 6, I've got 8, I've got 10, and I've got 12. Okay, so we play the difference game. What's the difference? Okay, so I've got 2, 2, 2, and 2. Because I played it once, it's a linear sequence, which means it's just n. So the 2 tells me it's the 2 times table. So it must be 2n. So what I'm going to do is actually write the 2 times table above it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And it's not 2, it's 4, so I've added 2. It's not 4, it's 6, so I've added 2. And I just check that it worked every single time. So it's the 2 times table plus 2. So my general term is 2n plus 2. So it's a nice one there. Okay. Oops. Oops, there we go. There must be an easy way of doing this, but we'll get there. Oops. Okay. Goodness knows what I've done. Anyway, right, let's have a look. What about if I've got a quadratic sequence? So, I've got that many pages, I'm sure. Right, shall we just start it here? Who knows? So I'm just going to draw. No idea what's going on with this. Someone can teach me later. Right, so I have got a quadratic sequence. So I have got, oops. Draw. Okay, looks like I can't draw for some reason. Okay, I don't know what I've done. So maybe if we just undo all this, we'll get somewhere. Right, okay. Return. Okay. Right. So, quadratic sequence. Right. So, let's think about it. Here are the first few terms. So, I have got 3. I have got 6. I have got 11. I have got 18. I've got 27. I'm going to play the difference game. I've got 3. I've got 5. I've got 7. I've got 9. So I have to play it again. Okay. And I've got the same difference. That means it must be an n squared. And then I halve this coefficient here. So it must be 1n squared. Okay. My square numbers are 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, etc. So I'm going to compare that with the sequence I've got. And my sequence is 2 more than the square numbers. So it must be n squared plus 2. That's my nth term. Okay. And then they could ask me something like, is 72 in a sequence? And what you need to do is just say, test it out and say 72 equals n squared plus 2. So 72 minus 2 is 70 equals n squared. So no, because 70 isn't a square number. And then you're done. Okay. And sometimes they might give you a sequence with patterns and you have to work it out. And also you may have to form some equations. So problems like that, just forming an equation. So putting a D, etc. for Dan, putting anything like that. So I'm going to leave it at that. I think that's enough. So just all you need to look at on top of that is probably just forming an equation, which is, given a scenario, can you put an equation together? So if I quickly just skip all of that off, if I just do it with words, and if I just say, imagine we have 3 people. We've got Francis, and they are 5 years older than Tom, and Richard is twice Tom's age. Can you form an expression for Richard? So, if we put F for Francis, and we have T for Tom, and we have R for Richard. So, Francis is Tom plus 5, okay, and Richard is twice Tom's age. Oops, hang on. So, Francis minus 5 is Tom's age. So, Richard is 2 times Tom, which is 2 times F minus 5. So, if I want an expression for Richard in terms of Fran's age, and we've just done that. So, Richard is twice Fran's age minus 5. And you could do it again for Richard in terms of Tom's age. So Richard is just 2 Tom, but obviously that's not as complicated. Okay, well, I hope this has been of help. Okay, it's very rushed. As you can see, my batteries are about to run out, but I hope that helps. Okay, any problems, just come and see me. That literally is a summary of all the sorts of things that we are doing on the test. So good luck and work your best.